What's up, y'all? Chris. Real quick, wanted to do a video, brief video, as brief as I can on last night's boxing. Just got done doing a radio show, so my voice is kind of burnt out. So I'm going to try to keep this brief as possible. Just give a real quick recap of last night's event. First up, main event between Paulie, Malignaggi, and Zab Judah. This fight did not go the way I thought it would. However, I did say that I did think this fight was between a underachiever and overachiever, and I thought we saw a perfect example of that. Zab once again being a classic underachiever, just coming through, falling flat completely in this fight, and Paulie showing he still got something left in the tank. Guy was gone for a while, came back, had a bit of a career return to 147, and he pretty much dominated this fight. Outside of getting knocked down in the second round, Zab's late bum rush in the 12th. This fight was all Paulie. He dominated with the Zab, more act with the jab on Zab, more active, surprisingly, a lot more faster. Maybe because Zab just didn't do shit, but Paulie pretty much just dominated this fight from the first round on. Zab, as the Showtime announcing crew mentioned, looked as interested throughout the fight. I don't know what his deal was, but Zab's 9 lives may finally be out. He may finally be, I'm not saying he's going to retire, but, he just showed nothing in this fight. But who knows? He'll probably get a title shot on main event next time out. The way Zab's career's gone. But good one for Paulie. Back in the mix. Sounds like he has a chance to get the winner of Broner versus Maidana. If not, maybe he'll fight Porter next, who got a big win last night in the welterweight division. Speaking of, Sean Porter showing me something I hadn't seen previously in him. Most impressive I've been out of Sean Porter by far in his career. Pretty much blitzed Devin Alexander from the get-go, bum rushed him, looked hungrier, wanted to fight more. Alexander didn't look like he knew what hit him, literally and figuratively. Sean Porter dominated this fight for the most part. Alexander got back in it later on in the fight. Porter looked to slow down, but this fight was crazy. There was a lot of exciting moments where both guys were throwing flurries, or where Porter was being really aggressive, landing some big shots, had Alexander hurt on more than one occasion. But then there were a lot of ugly clinches and just grappling. So, tale of two fights, although it took place throughout all 12 rounds. But for the most part, Porter got the better of the two, and a deserving winning decision, and got another player to add to the welterweight division, already resurging welterweight division. Finish off this Showtime card for Move to Field. Arizona Lara dominated Austin Trout. I picked Trout to win this fight. Actually, I think I was wrong on all four picks for the most part. But that's the way it goes. Nothing wrong with being wrong on predictions anyway. It kind of makes it better because you think it's going to go one way and it goes the opposite. That actually makes it more entertaining and more intriguing at a fight as a viewer, my opinion. Unless it's one of your favorite fighters. But it wasn't the case last night. As far as Lara versus Trout, Lara's just a lot faster. It's funny, I mentioned in the predictions I thought Lara was faster, better athlete, but I picked Trout to win because all Lara's fights are close. If you look at the way I talked about the fighters, it went the way I thought it would go, except for the outcome. Lara dominated him a lot faster. Lara's basic game plan in this fight, stick and move. He did it all night long. Although he stuck toward Trout pretty damn hard in the latter rounds where he knocked him down, which was the 10th or 11th round, I believe. Knocked him down. Trout went down hard, much like in the Canelo fight. Give Trout credit for getting up. Give his corner no credit for pulling that bullshit in the corner and getting him extra time. But Trout cruised to a decision after that. But it was Lara, all Arizona Lara. Bad loss for Trout. 2 losses in a row now after that big win over Miguel Cotto. This was a really bad loss. So, but good win for Arizona. Look, good to see him win a decision that wasn't close. And he's a player at junior middleweight. And of course, Sakio beat Anthony Durrell. This fight ended in a draw. I have no problem with the decision. It was a close fight, ugly fight. Durrell was a much more technical fighter, no surprise. Biko was in a lot of big shots there. I don't know why Anthony Durrell kept letting himself get put against the ropes. In the middle of the ring, did a lot better. Whenever he let his back get put against the ropes, he would try to fight off, but Biko was just throwing a lot of solid body shots in there. Durrell did get the knockdown, did hurt Biko more times throughout the fight, I thought, but Biko just seemed to want it more, just seemed to be more aggressive. Durrell took his foot off the gas, particularly in the latter half of the fight. And then that putting your hands up, running in the latter seconds of the 12th round, did nothing and went over the crowd nor that round. Dude, if you're trying to win your first title, even if you think you got it in the bag, go for the finish. Or at least throw some punches. Say, look, put a little, make an emphatic statement. Don't run around like I got this in the bag, and you didn't. So no problem with the draw, though. Seemed logical because I don't think it was a clear-cut winner in the fight. As far as the HBO card, Kirkland, Glenn Tapia, fight of the night by far. Tapia came out early, tried to look to take it out of Kirkland, as we've seen Ishida do and Angulo almost do. But unfortunately for Tapia, this is more like Kirkland versus Angulo, where Kirkland was able to respond. Really, it looked like Tapia may be able to take Kirkland out of there. Kirkland got to a bit of a slow start, but once Kirkland was able to weather the storm, so to speak, got his shit going, got going against, much like with Durrell against Bika, once Tapia was had the back against the ropes, Kirkland was just unloading on him. I will say this: although Kirkland dominated this fight for the most part outside the early moments, I did think that Kirkland looked nearly as explosive as he has in the past. His punches didn't seem to have the same ferocity and the same snap and the same power that they have had in the past, in my opinion. But that said, he did more than enough to dominate this fight. Just take it out of Tapia slowly, just let the air out the tire, so to speak. Just absolutely sap it out of him. Felt bad for Tapia after a while. You saw he wasn't going to turn this around. Although in the last round, he had come out strong, ran a couple of big shots, but Kirkland shook those off, went back to work. Steve Smoker, you got to be a little more assertive when stopping a fight. Don't just step in there half-assed if you're trying to get the fight stopped, especially with a guy like Kirkland, because Kirkland landed that last shot, which absolutely um, just put poor Tapia out, and I don't think that shot was necessary. But you can't blame Kirkland for it. I blame Smoger, who's normally a good ref, but probably should have been a little more assertive getting in there. But either way, good one for Kirkland. I don't know though. Like I said, I didn't feel things didn't look as crisp. And his speed, maybe he always talks like that, but it seemed like he had a little bit of that. Been hit too many times in the head type of voice going on. But maybe that's just me. As far as the main event, I didn't pay too much attention to the last fight of the night after a busy weekend of fights. And from the feedback on Twitter, they said don't bother. I watched it in the background. Rigondeaux absolutely dominated Beko. Beko just didn't really bring much to the table. He landed like one punch in two separate rounds, all Rigondeaux and a Rigondeaux type of fight. Man, this was like the walkout bout for the crowd, though. How many people were there in the? If you watched the fight in the audience at the end of this fight, there was like nobody there. I felt bad for Rigondeaux, but that's what you're getting. The only thing I didn't like about this fight, aside from it wasn't exactly a barn burner or a crowd pleaser, whatever. That's Rigondeaux's style. But I thought where HBO undersold Rigondeaux during their fight, they tried to oversell him here. They really talked him up. Lamprey was like, "Am I going to put him in my top 5 pound for pound in the fight game?" Max Kellerman was really talking him up. I'm not saying Rigondeaux is not a really good fighter, maybe top 5, definitely top 10 pound for pound in the sport, but I think they tried to oversell him. They're saying Beko didn't bring nothing to the table. Well, Rigondeaux didn't really make it happen either. So even though Rigondeaux, I guess, had a little more offensive output than usual, it's not like he's ever going to become some really exciting fighter. He is what he is. You just got to expect him for that. Hardcore fight fans might like him. Technical fight fans might like him, but you're not going to sell him to the casual viewer no matter what you try to do HBO. That said, overall, solid night of fights. Tapia Kirkland definitely fight of the night. And Paulie's dad, probably the most interesting story of the night, in my opinion. Anyways, what are your guys' thoughts on the fights overall? What do you think about the performances? What do you think about the winners? What do you want to see next for each guy? And any overall thoughts? Or in general. Link to Twitter and Facebook and the as always. Till next time, I'm out.